Hello. I hate to turn the music down. I can hardly hear it. I think I'd like to hear it today, but we'll see how it goes. I've got it up a couple bits. Still can't hear it well. Holy surprise. I had absolutely no notification of coming live because, except for the little blurb that comes out if you subscribe to me and follow. I mean, not subscribe, but follow. Because Discord is uncooperative. I don't know if it's just me or if in general they're doing some kind of maintenance and the server isn't available, but it was up and it came up, but then is when I tried to refresh it, as in to go to another channel, it burped and basically I rebooted my computer and then it wouldn't open at all. So I've had trouble with Discord a lot on this computer. It is often rebooting just takes care of it. Restarting just takes care of it. Today it did not. So I wasn't unable to let you know that I was coming on. I am doing this. I normally do this in the morning. It normally is a crafting day as opposed to all spinning, although I am going to do a little bit of painting on a Christmas card, and I'll tell you all about that as I'm working on it. But I want to go ahead and spin after that. I have not spun since the last stream because I have been knitting like crazy on the Sock Madness sock. I just ate lunch. I got little hiccups there. And I am 30 rows more of the pattern, which takes a little bit. I mean, the stitches are twisted and manipulated. And the rest of the sock, which is going around the sole, which is nothing but knitting. So, it's going faster. It's going to go pretty good. And I have lots and lots of hope of, if I don't get it completely done tonight, getting down to where I'll do the tote tomorrow. Of course, I have to turn around and cast on another one. But I really am pushing and working really hard to get done by Tuesday or Wednesday. Actually, Wednesday is the deadline. So I'm pushing hard to get it done. Not this coming. Yeah, this coming. I have it on my iPad. I know when it is. I have 8 days. So it's going to be, today is the 8th. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It is the 16th. And hubby and I were going to then leave. If I got it in like the day before, go ahead and leave on the 16th. But at this point, we've put that off just a couple more days, and we're going to leave on the 18th. So after next week, I'm going to have a couple weeks off from streaming. Anyway, I had a dental appointment this morning. I have been having Tuesday morning dental appointments. I have been having a lot of processes to go through in order to get a tooth crowned. I had to have a root canal. I had to go back for the root canal because she had reviewed the x-rays after I left, like her nightly thing of reviewing, and said, I think we needed to take a look at one little area that I may have missed. So I went back in, and that took a Tuesday and a Thursday, and then today I was at my regular dentist, and he did all the work that's needed to prep for the crown and fit the crown. I mean, in order to make it right, to make a, I can't think what it's called. It's not a mold, but they do a thing that they send to a lab that they make out of. Now that has totally changed. It just blew my mind. It's all digital. They have this thing that's a camera. It's a 3D camera that they put in your mouth and go all over around where the tooth goes and up and down and everything. And it builds your image of your teeth 3D on this computer screen. It's amazing. It's no more squishy stuff, right, to make the mold. I said, you're kidding me. I said, what do they do with it when they get it at the lab? She said, I'm not real sure. I said, I wonder if they're 3D printing them. You know, technology has become amazing in so many places. And I saw it all the time in my job when I was working over the 40 some years that I worked. I mean, the technology changed drastically because computers came into the world during that time. But it still blows my mind when I go and I run into what used to be something that I knew all about, and all of a sudden it's computerized. Something I never even dreamed would be computerized, right? It was computerized. So I don't get that crown. I have a temp on. I don't get that crown until we get back from Florida. Sometime, like, I think it's April 4th, I'm going to go in. And unfortunately, I have to do this again. I have a second tooth that needs to be done. Going to check the insurance and see if I can get enough insurance coverage to do both. I think so, but we'll do the call on that later. We'll get this first one down. So, Tuesdays have been really tied up, and as soon as I went from Wednesday morning to Tuesday morning at the request of hubby, everything happened on Tuesdays. But I'm streaming anyway, and I have no problem with that because most times this Tuesday thing, people can't come because they're working, or they might be watching with the sound down. Oh, and I'm over there in a little corner talking to myself, right? But they can watch me spin when I spin, so we will get to that in, I don't know, maybe it'll take me about 20 minutes or so. This is a quick little project that I want to do because I have a number of them to do and they take time to dry, and so I only do one at a time. I don't think you're going to be able to see that there is already an image drawn on here. This is how the cards came when I got them. I got a whole bunch of them. They came in packs of these different designs, and there were like 2 in a pack, right? And I found them on sale one time. The packs were $0.25, 2 cards for $0.25. And I bought a little pack of the paint that went with it, which is in a squeeze bottle. Looks like this. Okay. Well, I promptly ran out of those before I ran out of cards. So I had to go to some Hobby Lobby, Michael's, whatever, someplace like that, and buy a whole bunch of bottles. But unfortunately, mostly what they're called scribbles, but mostly what they are for fabric, right? They're fabric paint. Works fine, has the pointed tip that I needed. I got all sorts of colors. I'm not using all sorts of colors because the only thing I bought was Christmas cards. I bought a couple of Easter, and I think those got done right away with the first paint. And I have never seen this again. Now, I haven't looked online or anything like that. I still have a lot of Christmas card packs to do, and there's a lot of different designs. Let's see if I can show you some of designs. Okay, so this one was a standard birthday one. I got it because my mom was all into teddy bears, so I did her cards that way when I sent her. What happens is these are blank, so you can write in her, but they also, you can buy, I don't have any here, but you can buy inserts that slip right in there, and it'll say happy birthday, thinking of you, or things like that, which is really cool. These are put out by Tulip, which made the original paint. So that's another teddy bear. Do I have nothing else? I have done these. That's Christmas bells. I've done those. That seems to be the only thing I have here to show you. All I've got is a couple envelopes. So it gives you an idea of what I'm going for. We have a little practice sheet. They call it a practice sheet, but it's really good for getting your paint started, to get those drops out, because you want a really steady flow, steady hand when you're actually doing the pattern. This one, I've done one already. This is what it looks like. It's a reindeer. Trying to get it All right, that's what it looks like. That's what we're going for today. You will see a reindeer magically appear. I do this folded. It does not leak through at all. And I kind of go from top to bottom, although I like doing all the colors together. So the reindeer's going to be brown. The antlers are going to be gold. I can do the antlers first. So that's what we're going to do. I have a sparkly gold that, oh, I wish I had brought. I may have be sorry I didn't bring in a paper towel. Let's see if I have anything here. There we go. A lot of times when I bring in a cup of coffee or something like that, I bring in a paper towel with it and then I'll throw it away. Alright, let's see. Now, because this is fabric paint, it's kind of puffy. It's not perfect by any means, but my hand is definitely going to be in the way. Not much I can do about that. So what happens is the paint being puffy, the card is puffy. Don't know how it's going to handle being in an envelope. The other paint that I had originally was not this puffy. I probably could thin it a little. I'm afraid I'd lose my control. That's the antlers. This one is way too puffy. Smooth it out a little bit. And this one doesn't have quite, I'm going to leave it be. Okay. So we have a ribbon. It kind of is supposed to be the reins and then the part of his harness here. So I'm going to make that red. And this is all, my red is, the bottle's getting used up. It's kind of, no, too much. That's why we practice. All right. I did not say I was good at this. I just said I do it. It most certainly doesn't qualify as true art painting. It's a craft. Let's see if I have any. I think I will make this hose that color. Okay. I like making dots better than the lines. So I always get points on them. So I try and smush them down a little. Let's do the green. Oh, that was a save. Oh, that would have been a smear and that would have gone in the trash. Wasn't very good. The hard part about this card is the border. It's just going to be this green, but it's going to be last. Alright, that should be all the way. Next is brown. Lots of brown. I told you this goes quick. It does. It goes quick. I just don't do many at one time. That's a low-flying plane. No, it's a helicopter. That's why. It sounds that way. Okay. It's going to be the hardest. Made a mess out of that one. It's got a fur clump there. Huh? I missed, although that's a hoof. I didn't miss it. It's black. I didn't miss it. I do need to spread this one more. There we go. So that just leaves the border with the green. Kind of looks like stitching, doesn't it? Remember the big stitching we used to do as kids? Or I did. You followed, I guess you were following a pattern on the fabric, I guess. I can't remember how that was. I just remember that the stitches were in yarn, thick yarn, and huge. Figure out which way I want to go here. All the cards have this border, and some borders I have done green or red and white. Some I've done all red. I'm being lazy today. I want to figure out a pattern. I'm just doing green. this is not going well. Too thick. Border takes forever. It's kind of like the border on a shawl. My dentist's exam rooms where you are, laying there while he works, have great big picture windows out onto a park, which is fantastic. And today, for the first time, they have one of the workers there that has started feeding the squirrels. And so she puts this food out right there by the window. And the squirrels are so funny. It's kind of a neat thing that they can do that, but I'm not real happy with what they were feeding them. I don't have any idea what you should feed a squirrel. I know they eat just about anything, but I don't know nutritionally what's very good for them. What they were eating was nacho chips. Probably stale. They were cute. And there was one who had an unfortunate accident at some point. He lost most of his tail, so he had a bunny tail, which was hysterical on a squirrel. But my dentist said that the squirrels think that the lady that feeds them is Snow White. Aw, I screwed that one up. Oh well. Probably would have been safe to knit on the sock on the stream today because I have the pattern pretty well understood on the patterning part. The other part is knit, and I've got everything divided half and half, so that all the pattern stitches are on one needle and the sole is on the other. Other two, actually, because I'm on double pointed. For a while, I was knitting on 2 circs, but the one that was the right size was a wire wrap and the wire broke, and it's kind of unusable right now. I don't know if I can get that wire off of it or not. And after having done one repeat of the pattern, I tried it on and it was a little too tight to try and go over my heel, and I just knew that I would not have a sock that fit if I didn't go up needle sizes, so I changed needles. There is no penalty for doing that during Sock Madness. You can't increase or decrease stitches, so if you're making a size medium, you have to stick with the 66, and if you're making a size large, you have to stick with the number that is. I forget what that is. But you can make it bigger or smaller by going up or down needle sizes. There's no penalty for that. You have to do the exact number of repeats they tell you on instep and the leg and on the foot. In spite of shaking this paint, a lot of it is not mixed well. One of the hazards of a small bottle, I guess. Okay, that's done. So, I will just set that aside. That didn't take too long. What did it take? 35 minutes? A little longer than I thought. Alright. I don't know if I want to leave this light on or not. Let me see about getting this back in the camera. Yeah, I got my fiber laying all over there because I didn't want to use that table. I didn't want the fiber near that table. Okay. So originally I started out dividing the 4 ounces into 2 ounces and then the 2 ounces into 1 ounce. Trying to decide if I want to continue putting just 1 ounce on each bobbin. Looks like I could get the full 2 ounce on there. There is no variety to the patterning here. It's just an all-over blue-purple with white areas and the mixture of the colors. It is a Superwash Blueface Luster. It is from a business called A Star is Shorn. very, very lovely fiber. Got it at a fiber fair, not online. I don't know if they have an online presence or not, but I bought this at a fiber fair a number of years ago, as is true with most of my stash. I really do think I could get the entire 2 ounces on one bobbin. Ooh, this feels weird. What's going on here? Got something crunchy. Just one of the locks is all clumped together from the dyeing. Okay, whoops. I have no reason for yawning. I slept well last night. Slept the night through. But then I had to get my appointment for my dentist was at 8 a.m. Oh my goodness. I have never gone to the dentist that early in the morning. I need to move onward here. Let's pay attention. Stop. I need voice activated on and off on this. They do make a treadle, I mean not a treadle, but a power switch for it. Never looked into it. Or at least they do some of them. I don't know if they actually, I could retrofit it or not. I'm not real sure on that. Or if you have to buy it with it originally. I just keep hitting this stuff I don't want spun in there. It's not smooth. I'm pretty sure this is top. Doesn't really. When people put stuff they've dyed and they're just buying it in bulk, white, I'm not sure they really pay attention, but I can just tell for a number of reasons, but it is just so smooth and straight and aligned that it has to be top. And also, when I ran my hands across down it one way, it felt rougher, and the other way it felt smoother, and that is having a direction that it wants to go is a true sign of top. This little bit was already pre-drafted from the previous stream. That's why I'm not pre-drafting. The fiber definitely needed it, so. Next bit I do, I will have to pre-draft. I'm definitely going to go ahead and put the other 2 ounces on here. My friend got her Valentine. We don't talk by phone. We do text every now and then. She lives out in California. So, I don't know. It developed into a corresponding by letter friendship and grew. But with growing, we just maintain the letter writing. And I don't mind. I like to write letters if I'm in the mood. Sometimes it takes me a while to sit down and write it. She is more in the habit of sitting down and writing a little bit every day and then mailing the letter every 4 days or so, 3 or 4 days. So, we have different letter writing styles. I'll sit down and write what's happened over the last couple of weeks, which takes longer, but I don't know. Doesn't feel like you're writing a letter all the time. I just am not into the everyday thing very well. Anyway, I had made her a perforated paper heart for Valentine's, put it in a card, and mailed it. I mailed it on Valentine's Day. I was late because of being handmade and everything. It took me, of course, longer than I expected. But hadn't heard from her in her letter, and she is not one not to say. She wouldn't have known it was coming, but she's not one not to say something if she receives it, right? Always very complimentary on any gift that I send. And I got to thinking a couple days ago, she's never said anything about that Valentine. I hope she got it. And then here's where my brain went. Hi, Carolyn. Hey, how are you? Here's your puppy dog. So here's how my brain went. I sent her an envelope with a card in it with the perforated paper magnet that had a magnet on the back. Right? So it had a magnet in the card, and all I could think of is I put it in that metal post office box. You know, the great big things you can drive by and drop it in there, and it caught the side with the magnet, right? And it's still sitting in that box. That's not true. She got it. I am totally relieved that didn't happen. But only my brain would oh, really? Did that really happen? Is that where that went? No, it's just the mail was slow. And then, of course, she had to write to me, so the return mail was slow. A lot of times she'll text me if I sent her something she got it, but she didn't. She's had her hands full. Her hubby almost died with COVID. He's home. He's recuperating, but he was in the hospital 11 days with it. So she's been taking care of him. So she's had her hands full. And the magnet didn't catch the post office box, so all is well. Yours would go there too. You know what I'm saying, huh? I was like, Okay, she hasn't gotten that yet. Why wouldn't, oh no. Yeah. So how are you, Carolyn? How are you? You having a good week? I'm gonna divide this in half again. Yeah. So. I could not send out any Discord alert, although there was an alert for, uh, whenever I sign in with Streamlabs. But anyway, Discord's being funky with me today. And I'm not streaming my normal time at all. You found a job listing for a historical reenactor at the local state park, so you filled out an application. Oh! But you found out your job is ending in about a month. I read backwards, sorry. Well, that's too bad about the job. And that's real exciting about the reenactor. Real exciting. I do hope you get that. That's exciting. I have talked hubby into going to the John Campbell Folk School sometime, just on a trip, go by, visit the gift shop, visit the campus. I have not signed up for any classes or anything, but to me that would be like going to school, you know, learning another old skill. Be pretty cool. Well, if you don't have to dress the loom, you can do fine, I'm sure. A treadling pattern is a treadling pattern, right? And you would know about clean salvages and tension and that whole 9 yards. It's if they really want somebody to set up the loom. I mean, I could weave if they didn't need that. I could bring my daughter, though. She knows how to do that because she does set up her loom. But I know what you're saying. It's interesting that that is what parks tend to focus on. I don't know exactly why. But if it's a true village kind of thing, they should have a cookhouse and they should have gardening and, seasonal things like that. Basket making. What else? Besides the spinning, knitting, dyeing. Oh, speaking of which, I walked up to my mailbox, which is up at the top of my lane, and it's got a wood cover over it. It is covered in lichen. I'm like, oh wow, I really should harvest that. I have a number of trees that are dying that are covered in the lichen too. I harvest whatever comes down on the ground, on the wood that comes down, but I haven't actually harvested off the tree yet, the trees. But I have a lot of very old fruit trees because I planted my orchard when I moved into this house 30 some years ago, and fruit trees don't live that long. So the trees that I planted, with the exception of a couple, are dying. And that's where the lichen really likes to grow. You actually like dressing the loom? Okay. It's the tension you have a problem with. Huh. You know, there's a blacksmith in the gift shop. That's neat. That's what I'm talking about with the John Campbell. The gift shop is full of all the stuff they make there, you know, by the people who teach. And so it should be a really interesting gift shop. And I would expect that your gift shop might be somewhat similar, or maybe that. And is it a state park? Let's see. Yeah, it's a state park. They probably do state stuff then too. I know I've talked about it before on the stream. I don't know if you were on it. Oh, there's a grist mill. Is this Clifty Mills? There was one we used to go to in Indiana all the time that we would get cornmeal. I think it was Clifty Mills. Anyway, the last state park we went to, I went ahead and bought the senior pass, which gets you into all the state parks because we're senior citizens. There was a fee, but it was a one-time fee. But the other thing that was really cool is I went to the gift shop and I bought a book that has state parks for all the states, so, and a great big map so that they're easier to find, right? You can make it a destination. If you're going to a particular state, you can look it up and see if anything's on your route, or if you want to go out of your way or whatever. And then when you go to the gift shop at those state parks, you get a stamp. They all know about it, right? And you get a stamp and put it. It's like a little passport thing. You know me and passports. Spring Mills. Yes, I know that. Okay. Yeah. How cool. If you get that job, that would be really awesome. I know where that is now. I remember now where you are too. That was something that kind of had slipped my mind. We get up in that neck of the woods now and then. I wonder how many applications they have for that kind of job. And they are definitely looking for the weaver. It's seasonal? So summer? Yeah. I mean, that is even more perfect. You're right. I agree. Evidently, the building you're going to be in doesn't have heat. I could live with a job like, okay, you only go out if the sun's shining. Yeah, well, those are gardeners. That's that's hard work. going to be traveling south on the 16th or 17th. Or I guess we're going Friday the 18th is what we finally decided. But I don't know if we'll have time to take a little detour. I would like to find one park on the way. What I might try to do is see if there's one that's somewhere that's kind of halfway and I could stay at the lodge. We love going to the lodges. You've been known to walk while spinning a drop spindle at a craft festival just because you wanted to? That's very, very good because I can't do that very well. I almost got to go to a guild that is relatively local to me. They're called the Friendship Spinners. They were in the eastern part of Kentucky more. They seem to have rearranged themselves over the years that I haven't been able to go. I never was able to go. They always meet Saturdays, one Saturday a month, and I was always working. I worked every other Saturday, and it just was impossible for me to ever hit one of their meetings. Well, I saw online they're going to meet this Saturday. Do you know they are predicting accumulating snow starting Friday night? I was like, oh man. I could still go if the weather turns out not to be bad, but at this point in time I was like, I think I better not get my hopes up. But what made me think about that was I was trying to plan whether I wanted to take my drop spindle or my little Nano with the battery. Or probably both, actually. The problem with the Nano is I like a table, and there may or may not be a table. I'm not, but we're meeting at somebody's house, I think, or a church. I'm not sure which. You reject that reality and substitute your own. Sunny and 65. Good for you. Let me know how that goes when you're driving. I was surprised to find that they are now south of me as far as meeting. So maybe they go a lot of places and I just didn't realize it. Because I have been out of touch with, well, and they haven't been meeting either. So maybe they're in April. Now that I am watching their, I think it's their Facebook. I'm going to take a break. Let's do a little finger stretch. And yawn. Oh my goodness. I can't wait to go to Florida. I mean, we did have really nice weather, but it was residual winter out there. There was, nothing really exciting to do or really too early to prep, garden, and all that kind of stuff. So I didn't go out much. We did sit on the porch a couple times during that stretch of good weather because we both have cabin fever really bad. If I lived in the city, I'd get out and walk every day, whatever the weather. I would get out and be a little more active than I am here because I have no stable ground place to walk on. I have either rock or very bumpy ground. I do use a walking stick a lot when I'm walking outside and around our yard, but I don't walk fast. And right now, when it rains like this, it's just unpleasant with the mud. There's just mud everywhere. 28 and partly cloudy, but no precipitation on Saturday. Yeah, it's the Tennessee Valley and up, which is why it's hit and miss as to whether we're going to get it or not. We're in Ohio River Valley, so it's south of us. Almost all the weather patterns this year have gone, the worst weather has been south of us. It's very interesting. I think it has something to do with how the winds blow out of California. The El Nino, what's the other one? I only know El Nino. Which is blowing how. My husband has the weather on his, it's this temperature in this city, and he keeps putting Anchorage and Honolulu on there. Checking that. Like, yeah, you just keep dreaming. If you walk outside, it's because you went into town where there are jogging paths at the resort. Yeah. Yep. I am a 20-minute drive from the nearest concrete, unless I go to the elementary school, which actually is about 5 minutes from me. I have road in front of the thing. It is very dangerous to walk on. No sidewalks, of course. Country road, lots of curves. Cars that drive way faster than they should. So I don't walk on it. And it's actually 10 minutes to the nearest Y. I can go to the Y in the closest town to me. And I do. I get it with Silver Sneakers with the insurance we have, so I should use it. I have every intention to once I feel like the COVID scare is not really bad, and we are definitely getting there. I may set that up after we get back from our trip. And if I drive 20 minutes, I can go to a Y that has a pool and do the water aerobics, so that's really good too. I really need to do it. I have no excuse. Just no excuse at all. Carolyn, are you? I know your name is not Carolyn. I'm sorry. I don't know. Are you making the sock mounted sock? Oh, I'm gonna sneeze. Excuse me. One more. I usually sneeze in 3. And they always come out of nowhere. Immediate tickle on the nose and then sneeze. I have no idea why. You're not. You're working on modern. Okay, I saw that puzzle blanket. Yeah. The great niece to be due in July. Aw. She will love it as she grows up. Be her baby blanket. Oh, I ended up doing two of these at the same time. Oh well, it's working. Wondered why it was feeling thicker. Oh, a test knit for a lovely Rihanna that you want to jump in, but I don't know how long the blanket's going to take, so you're not in the test pool yet. Oh, okay. Ooh, that's something I've never made either. That sounds lovely. I like the, just, I don't know if I'd wear it out or just to wear it at the house like you're wrapped up in a blanket, you know, kind of thing. Well, the Sock Madness sock has been maddening. I'm doing way better with it, and I have every intention of finishing, but I'm like crossing my fingers that I haven't made a mistake somewhere that it won't qualify. Just making them doesn't count enough. Gotta make them according to the pattern. Make them right. I like them though. They're cool looking. Got thin. Too thin. Oh, that's interesting. I lost my... Oh, there it is. My only problem with knitting all the time is I miss reading. I might be able to listen to a book on tape for the second sock. I was so focused and concentrating on the first one that I couldn't even have the TV on. But maybe the second one would be better. Yeah, we're thinking alike there. That would definitely be a possibility, or podcasts, Stitcher, one of those. But it took me probably, I'm halfway through my fourth repeat of that block of 26 row pattern, and it took me 3 of them before I was finally like, okay, I pretty much know what every row is doing. There is one row 8. It throws me every single time because it is just like completely different. And you are doing purls on stitches you've never purled on before, and you know what I'm saying. It's just like throw that row in there to wake you up or something, but it gets me every time I get to it. So I can't go off and do without the pattern up on Knit Companion, which means find another source for the audiobook. Usually I get them from my library app. I'm probably better off just not doing anything. For those that don't have enough hobbies already, let's see, this goes on here yet. I was watching our local news this morning, and we live near where they have the Kentucky Derby, which will be the first Saturday in May, always is. But 2 weeks up before that, and even starting now, there's a lot of events that go on. But the thing about the Kentucky Derby is the women all wear hats, and it is a big deal, right? You spend your money on your hat. You have a nice outfit, but your money goes into hats. And the segment today was at Churchill Downs, where they have the Kentucky Derby. They have the Kentucky Derby Museum. It's a big museum all about the horse racing and the Kentucky Derby and all that. And this coming weekend, they have a hat sale. All these milliners are coming in from all over to sell, to do, display. Google says 1974. Oh, and then that is right. See, he was born. He turned 65 this year. He was born in. Boy, I can't do math today. 40s. He was born in 57. Well, that says he was 17. Huh. I didn't think he was that young when he went. Oh, the things you don't know about your spouse. Things they tell you. Right? No, just drinking. Let's just say I don't think they did any ID back then. Or he got it illicitly somehow. Maybe from buddies. I don't know. He drank there. Because he talks about that. So. That's how it was. Oh, really? Yeah. Well, I did not because of my family situation. I had no opportunity. And when I did start drinking, which, after I was 21 and would go to a restaurant, I went straight for the hard stuff. I started drinking cocktails. Haven't stopped. Anyway, didn't develop a taste for wine until I lived in California in the 80s, and I really didn't develop a taste for beer until I married my hubby, who is a beer drinker. But there is nothing better than a good glass of red wine to warm you up. And that is what I am going to have with my knitting after I get done streaming here this afternoon. It is just, it's not that cold like I can't get out from under the blanket. I can knit and be active and stay up and all that. It's not that cold. It's just, it's not warm yet. I want it to be warm. My daffodils are in full bloom all over the place. So of course it's going to snow. It always snows on the daffodils. It always snows on them. Silly things. I saw a good joke about that one time. 2 bulbs underneath the ground. One of them says, "Honest, I know. It's warm up there. I know." And you see these flowers blooming and there's snow all over them. Yeah, right. Family bought the margaritas you had at Disney, and I never developed taste for beer. I've been told it always snows during sectional basketball tournament. Yeah, it's March Madness, isn't it? Very true. That's just our weather here. Well, that was an understanding family, and I'm sure you were sufficiently, what I don't want to say guarded, but you know what I'm saying. Under a watchful eyes. Under the family wing. I have no memory of my daughter. I'm pretty sure she drank wine with us uh, with meals after she was in high school, but not out in public. I mean, like when we went out to eat or anything. I have no idea what she did on her own. Why would I know that? She's never confessed to anything yet. She's never confessed, so I wouldn't know. They had a big beer festival here last weekend that we've been to in the past, but I said I didn't really want to go again. Um, Called Tailspin. Lots and lots of craft brewers come in. You get a sample. You walk around drinking all these samples of beer, which is just fine and dandy if you're not driving. So they have a shuttle that will take you between various hotels or bus lines, that sort of thing. I mean, they don't encourage the driving, but they try and provide a solution for that. But that means you have to stay at a hotel, and yeah, if we live so close to home, I don't want to do that. I'll go out of town and do that. Because I have to stay at a hotel anyway if we, go down to Tennessee or whatever. Just made an appointment today to get a oil change on our car. We have a relatively new car, and there are two. It's a Hyundai, and there's two Hyundai dealers in the area. And I wanted to make an appointment at the one that was right across the street from where we have another appointment on Friday. So I called them. No, they have nothing available until April. And I'm like, I can't believe that. I have never called a car place for service. They must be working with one mechanic or something. I have never run into that before. Now I called the other one and I got an appointment, but since it's not right across the street from where we're going, I made it a different day. It's just like, man. And yeah, we could just well, hubby could change the oil, or we could just go to a Valvoline or whatever. But it's a relatively new car. We would like the dealer to be involved in it in its first at least 30,000 miles. I couldn't. Okay, so we're true old age people that are like, it's never been this way before, right? The whole COVID situation has just changed everything we know in restaurants. It's changed the supply of things we are always used to being able to find in the grocery store. And I'm not alone in this. I realize that. It's just that it is so, we're just floored by it, right? We're not real accepting of it. And that's age, I guess. The biggest thing is, Carolyn's mom, you have a dog? Are you having trouble getting dog food? Is your dog not picky? See, I have a cat. Cats are picky. I mean, you think that the cat would eventually figure out, okay, this is the only thing I'm going to get. I'll eat it. But there is one kind of food I can put down time and time again, and he turns his nose up and walks out of his cat door and goes out and catches and I'm like, well, if you're going to do that, I'm not going to buy cat food, but I can't count on it, right? I still have to buy cat food. Cat food has become impossible to get in the grocery store. The shelves are empty every single time. Oh, no pets currently? Okay. Every single time we go and check, the cat food shelf is empty. And I will admit, I haven't looked to see if that's a dog food thing, but I have a feeling it's not. I have a feeling dogs are not as picky eaters as cats are, and that's what it's going on. But I also think it has to do with what they make the food out of. A lot of cat food that cats really want to eat is made out of tuna. It's made out of some kind of fish. They're not really chicken eaters. They will not touch beef. They just don't like beef on the whole. So yeah, I can't give him his favorite food more than twice a week because I can't find it. We're gonna look for it while we're traveling south and see if it's a local thing. I had to put the flea medicine on my cat today. He gets a thing on the back of his neck once a month. Oh, he gets so mad at me. And then he goes outside and pouts for a while, and then he comes back in, crawls up in my lap again, forgives me. It works though. I'll tell you what, it works. And with him having free range outside, we need that flea protection. Really? Would not do tuna. He was weird. He also tried to drink your coffee. Um, that's a little weird too. But except maybe if he had milk in it, I would understand that. But I have noticed that cats will eat human food more unexpectedly than I realized. And one of their favorite is, or the cats that I've had, one of their favorite is spaghetti sauce, that meat and grease and tomato. But I don't feed them human food that way. I did tell hubby that after we get back, I'm going to start perusing the frozen fish aisle, because I do know that my cat's likes run to the fish and not chicken. I thought I might try and see if I could make up something. But I imagine fish is just as expensive. It's just that he wouldn't eat the quantity that we would for a meal. I can make it go a little further. Especially if I put a broth in it, because he likes that kind of brothy kind of food anyway. That cat tried to steal hubby's ice cream too. That cat grew up on the street eating whatever it could find. I don't know. It just, you're right. They're like humans, you know? Humans have things they like and don't like too. Cats are the same way. And they aren't offered as many options unless they go begging off your plate, so. Once they discover the options, I think they go after it. You got him as a kitten. Okay, where the mom lived. His littermate's sister loved tuna. Yeah, so there you go. It is. They have taste buds just like we do, I guess. And their first experience with tasting it probably has a lot to do with what they think of it. Just like kids. Just like kids do. I miss kittens. Oh, I just loved having kittens. You really want a kitten right now? Oh, yeah. We have had up to 4 cats in this house at a time. But I have decided that Newman would not play well with others or share well. So, and we are definitely at the point in our lives where we're traveling a lot more, so I'm just not gonna add to the stress of leaving the animals. This fiber has been a lot of fun to spin. I have no more? Oh, okay, so this is my 2 ounces. I will stop with that. I have another 2 ounces that I will put on a bobbin. Another bobbin. But that is really, it's way stripier and blues and whites, but you can sort of see the variegation there. It's going to be a really fun skein of yarn. and it's supposed to be Superwash Blue Face Luster, so I'm hoping to knit a pair of socks. I don't know if I'll have enough. I may have to add another yarn with it, like for the, maybe the cuffs and heel toe or something like that. We'll see. See after I get it all done. I have a number of superwash braids that my original thought was I'm going to spin this into cabled yarn for socks. And then I did a couple cable yarn just in general. I'm going to change my screen here. I did a number of cable yarns just in general, and they eat the fiber up so bad that the 4-ounce braid would not have given me even enough for a sock, because I tried one 4-ounce braid. So I was like, okay, we're going to stop that thought process and we're going to go to 2-ply. It's not a crime to use a 2-ply to knit a sock, especially if you're not hard on socks, and I'm not. I don't tend to wear my hand knit socks without shoes. I tend to wear white cotton socks, store-bought socks, but not my hand knit. So anyway, I'm just making the 2-ply now out of the superwashes and see if I can get some socks made out of them. Maybe next Sock Madness. So I'm going to end this a little early. Not much, just a little bit. Let me go. I'm going to turn the music off. And let me open up Twitch. See if we can raid somebody. Carolyn's mom, it's been so nice to chat with you. I really have enjoyed that. We have Yarn Crafter Corner. I have not been on her stream for a long time. Oh, she's doing the Sock Madness sock. All right, we're going to go see her. I want to. KB Fibers is on too, but I want to see her sock. So I'm going to get past this ad here and check it out. See what she's doing. Yep. Yep. There it is. Okay, we'll go raid her. Yarn, there is an S after Crafter. Yarn Crafter's Corner. Thank you, you too. I'll be back on Thursday night if all goes as planned. It hasn't yet, but hey, it might the rest of the week. Okay. It's intended for mature audience. Get your swear words ready. See y'all later. Have a great one. Let's go raid. Oh, wait. Let me plug. I always do that. Let's, and then I want to plug my headphone in so that I can actually hear. I can hear her. All right. Now we're going. Bye.
Okay, so that's fine. I thought it dropped at once.